Today in national news, the governor and the lieutenant governor of Virginia are facing a blast of calls to resign amid separate allegations of racism and sexual assault. Nicole Killian has the latest from Richmond, Virginia.
Virginia Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax appeared upbeat as he left his home Saturday, a day after Meredith Watson, a second accuser, came forward claiming that he raped her in a, quote, premeditated and aggressive attack when both were Duke University students in 2000.
I'm thinking for everyone involved, Lieutenant Governor Fairfax has a family, he has young children, he has other people who were impacted by this, and so I think it will be best for him to resign.
In a new statement, the embattled lieutenant governor called for a full investigation and asked that no one rush to judgment. Fairfax is losing support fast. A Virginia delegate and fellow Democrat said he plans to introduce articles of impeachment Monday if the lieutenant governor didn't resign.
It's going to take Democrats to remove an African-American office holder from office, and that is another political issue fraught with horror.
The top 3 elected officials in the state are all caught in the middle of potentially career-ending scandals.
I look back now and regret that I did not understand the harmful legacy of an action like that.
In his first interview since acknowledging that he wore blackface as part of a Michael Jackson costume 30 years ago, Governor Ralph Northam told the Washington Post he now wants to fight for racial equality in his state. Virginia's Attorney General Mark Herring also admitted that he once wore blackface at a party in the 1980s. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Richmond.
Fairfax's first accuser, California professor Vanessa Tyson, accused him of sexually assaulting her at the Democratic National Convention in 2004. Fairfax maintains that his interaction with both women were consensual. But back in Montana, dozens of people braved ice-cold water in Helena today to raise money for a good cause. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian reports this year's Sweetheart Passion Plunge had to overcome added challenges from this winter weather.
For 19 years, people from around Helena have been jumping into freezing water in the middle of winter. It's all part of the annual Sweetheart Passion Plunge, organized by local law enforcement to raise money for Special Olympics Montana. The Passion Plunge is usually held at Spring Meadow Lake State Park, but organizers decided it wasn't safe to do it outside in these bitterly cold temperatures.
Robert Allen Nissan stepped up and let us use their bays to make this happen today.
Organizers say this is the first time they've had to relocate because of weather. Despite the last-minute change, they still had about 70 people ready to take the plunge. They jumped into a tank full of ice water. Many were in costume. No plungers raised more money than Team Emily. They've been taking part for years to support kids like 7-year-old Emily.
Special Olympics gives the opportunity to kids that normally aren't able to be involved in other sporting events to have an opportunity to do so.
This year, the Passion Plunge is expected to raise at least $30,000 for Special Olympics.
I mean, obviously the fundraising really helps us, but really that awareness building, people coming to show support for our athletes in the community, it goes a long way, and our athletes absolutely love it.
Community support that they come out and are willing to take some time out of their weekend and jump into a large tub of ice water is incredible, and it's great to see.
In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
And joined here now with Rob Griggs, jumping into the cold water. It's probably a smart idea that they moved that inside, right? This time of year seems a little chilly.
Hypothermia can set in pretty fast, drops that core temperature below 95, and then you're really in trouble. But Zoe, what we're looking at right now, the most, I guess, widespread threat we have is wind chill and frostbite. Take a look at these wind chill temps right now. We're talking 27 below at Great Falls and at Lewistown, 28 below in Helena. Yeah, good thing that they did move it indoors, because here's what happens with frostbite. Did you know that within about 30 minutes, if there's a 20 to 30 degree below zero wind chill, you can have frostbite to exposed skin. 35 below zero wind chills within 10 minutes, and exposed skin can have frostbite within 5 minutes, 45 degree or colder temperatures. So we have wind chill advisories in effect across most of the state. That's serious business. We'll be talking about that and what the rest of the weekend and the work week looks like in the forecast in just a little bit. Zoe?
Thanks so much, Rob. Well, back here in Billings, Tonight, the 5th annual My Furry Valentines event was held at the pub station, hosted by the Yellowstone Valley Animal Shelter, featured the Dead Presleys. Animal lovers, music fans, and families spilled into the ballroom. In its first year, Dead Presleys took part in the event. The Yellowstone Valley Animal Shelter is celebrating its 10th overall anniversary to raise money for the shelter. The event had a 50-50 raffle and silent auction tonight, and Kelsey Dwyer said the sky's the limit when it came to money raised, and explains where the funds were needed.
All of our proceeds go to our animals and the services we provide the community. That includes our spay and neuter clinics, that includes all of our adoptions, our finding animals if they're lost, finding their families, doing microchipping licensing for the city, our Barn Cat Buddies program, and our new Shelter Buddies breeding program as well.
Kelsey also wants to remind pet owners to keep your animals inside during these frigid temperatures. Family and friend came together today to help a man who was recently diagnosed with cancer. The community responded so quickly that a fundraiser for L.A. Trudeau had to be moved to a bigger venue at the Elks Lodge. Trudeau has stage 4 pancreatic cancer and went through a chemotherapy treatment last month. He says he's a U.S. Army veteran and served in Operation Desert Storm in 1991. Trudeau says it's important to keep a positive attitude.
With this kind of love and support, it's been impossible to have any kind of negative outlook. You know, I don't feel like I've been given a death sentence. I don't feel like that you know, it's an uphill battle. I feel like that with all the strength and love that I have behind me, that it's going to be easy to conquer it.
Trying to stay strong for each other and definitely keep him in high spirits. Hopefully that helps a little bit.
I mean, it shows, it's like how positive he's being. It's like we can't help but to just be the same way, because
positive with him.
So strong about it.
It's just always nice to see the community coming together. Well, thanks for watching the 10 o'clock news here on Q2. After the break, we bring you a preview piece of this year's 2019 Grammy Awards. And later in sports, one of the biggest nights of the year, Championship Saturday at the state wrestling tournaments. We've got full coverage from Metro Park.
You're watching MTN News with Zoe Zandora, Storm Tracker weather with Rob Griggs, and sports with Casey Conlon. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.